Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, as per your respective time zones. On behalf of entire Mastic Managed Services team, we would like to welcome you all to 24A Procurement and Advanced Procurement Advisory Webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with new features and functionalities as a part of this quarterly release which Oracle provides. My name is Sohail Malik, and I'm an Oracle Functional Consultant at Mastic Managed Services team. Today, I'm your host for the session, and I'm glad to introduce my colleague Pooja Vyas, who is a part of our vast supply chain team at Mastek. Today, she will take us through all the procurement and advanced procurement updates for 24A quarterly release. Today's session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes, and we'll also make sure that we also leave some time to answer all the questions you may have. We also have panelists available, Shubham Kapne, so you can ask any question through chat or question panel. Before we move to the agenda, let's have a quick look at the important disclaimer. We would like to convey you our approach towards the Oracle updates in a very simpler method. We'll be taking you through vital analysis for 24A updates done by our experts, which will help you incorporating new features and updates easily into the system. Also, we'll sync you on any bugs or known issues if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session, so please do ask questions through chat or question panel. We'll answer them at the end of session. In case if you run out of time, we'll make sure to respond you back by connecting you at a later stage to answer all your questions. This is to give you a glimpse of how we have crafted the structure of this session. List of new features coming to 24A. Detailing on features so you get brief understanding on what new features are all about. Next one is what are the business benefits and important takeaway for you as a decision maker. There are four components which we have done in-depth analysis of features which are going to present to you. First one is impact level analysis, which demonstrate the impact on the end user. If it's low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it's high, then we need to opt for regression testing. Second was is which we are all aware that there are some features which are by default auto-enabled by Oracle, and there are some which we need to opt for. Third one highlights the nature of the feature. There would be a certain configuration which may be required, or some can be used without any changes. Last one is a quick win. This term we use to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and effort to make use of this feature. So, hi Pooja, I'll be handing over to you now. Please unmute yourself and begin the session.
Thank you, Sohul, for the introduction. So, hello everyone. I'm Pooja. I'm at the part of supply chain management in Mustang. So, okay, so total we have 41 features this time in the procurement, advanced procurement, and RSSP. So, the first feature is integrate and extend procurement using the REST resources. In the latest update of Oracle, they have introduced a new and improved tool called REST Resources to make it easier to connect and work with other external systems. So the new tool include things like content zones, detail about the life of requisitions, checklist for compliance, templates for compliance, checklist, and response to questionnaires. Additionally, they have made to the existing tools too. like purchase requisitions and shopping catalog smart forms detail. So these updates allow you to do things like set your own prices for an item in requisition, even there's an existing agreement. It also let you submit a request even if you don't have enough funds. So all these changes are designed to make it simpler for different systems to work together, giving you more flexibility and efficiency in your procurement processes. So you don't need to do you don't have to opt in for it. It is a default feature. So the next feature is approval work area with enhanced user interface and adaptive search. Like, instead of using the work list, approval and notification area, use the approval work area for a better user experience and adaptive search feature. You can filter tasks based on approval type, task type, sender, or search by keyboards. This new area is designed to enhance the performance for both desktop and mobile users, allowing quick action on approval tasks. You can now organize tasks with filter search by keywords and approve or reject approvals without waiting for each to complete before moving to the next one. However, it's important to note that approval work area doesn't replace the BPM work list or change the notification icon behavior. Setting up this application won't impact the existing tools. So it's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for this. The next feature is budgetary control for project-specific procurement to an inventory or work order destination. This feature ensures that when you buy things for a project, the system checks if you have enough funds, reserve the necessary money, and track the project's budget. This applies whether you are getting item for a regular project or a specialized one with specific work orders. Like when you create a request or order, it sets aside money for the project's budget. This reservation includes the basic cost and related expense. Like as you go through the procurement processes, like validating order or paying invoices, the system keep updating the budget status. Overall, the benefit includes better control and monitoring of project budget, especially for project-specific purchases, and more accurate review of invoices connect to these projects. It's in default feature. This is the business benefit for this feature. So the next feature is view requisition approvers. Now, when you request something through the procurement app, you can see who needs to approve it. This list shows everyone who has already approved, who's currently reviewing it, and who will need to approve it in the future. You can even check any comments or files shared during this approval processes. You'll find this by selecting View Approvers on the requisition page, and this list stays available until your request is fully approved. It's a handy way to keep track of the approval step for what you have asked for. And for this, you have to opt in. It's not a default feature. So this is the business benefit for this feature. Moving to the next feature, the next is view detailed fund check results. Now, when you are buying something through the procurement, like not only does it checks if there's enough money in the budget, but it also shows you more details. You can see which budgets are affected, get specifics about those budgets, and understand why the funds might not be available. This way, if there's any issue, like not enough money in the budget or the budget period is closed, you'll know exactly what's causing it. For instance, if there's not enough money, you can talk to the budget manager about when funds will be added If it's timing issue with the budget period, you can double check the dates you entered for your purchase. And it's like having a clear picture of your budget and knowing how to fix things if needed. And for this, you have to opt in. This is the business benefit for this feature. Okay, so next feature is change description and pricing for catalog item during shopping. Now, in the shopping app, you can tweak details for certain items you want to buy. For master item, you can change the descriptions and prices. You can also do this by going into the detailed view of product. Any changes you make will be used when you add it in your cart. For blanket purchase agreement line, you can adjust the price or amount based on the type of line. Again, do this by going into the detailed view. Any changes you make here stick when you add it to your cart. And for punch out catalogs, depending on the conditions, like you might also change description and pricing here. Just like before, you have to go in the detailed view and you can make changes there. Some important things to note for this feature, like any changes you make for master item or blanket purchase agreement stays with your order even after you submit the requisition or create a purchase order. And if you update master item details, changes in the overall catalog setup won't affect your specific order lines. And for item from blanket purchase agreement, any purchase or amount, any price or amount adjustments you make stick to your order. It's an opt-in feature, and this is the business benefit for this feature. Okay, the next feature is request and override for an insufficient funds budgetary control failure. Now, when you are buying something in the shopping app, if the system says you don't have enough money in your budget for it, you can ask for a special permission called an override. This is like a fast pass for a urgent purchase. So, if you really need to buy something right away, you don't have to wait for more money to be added to your budget, and you can get it approved quickly and make the purchase without delays. It's an opt-in feature, and the business benefits you can see the below. So the next feature is search requisition line using supplier and manufacturer part numbers. Now you can easily check and find requisition line by looking at the detail of the relationship between the trading partners. Before, you could only do this for only specific cases like agreement lines, punch out flows, smart forms, and non-catalog request. But with this update, you can also do it for master item based requisition lines. This means you get to see the connection between suppliers and manufacturers, and this information is carried over to purchase order created from those requisitions. It's an opt-in feature. As you can see on the picture for this, you can get this detail on your page. And these are the business benefit of it. So the next feature is reserve funds for imported requisitions on document submission. This feature allows the configuration of funds reservation at the point of requisition submission. Previously, funds could only be reserved for imported requisition after they were approved. But with this update, the incomplete requisition imported via FBDI or the purchase request web service can be submitted for approval, and fund will be reserved at this submission stage only. So this enhancement is particularly beneficial for requisitions with extended approval processes. By reserving funds upon the submission, it prevents the available funds from being utilized by other transactions during the potentially lengthy approval period. So, in a summary, it streamlines the fund reservation process, providing better financial control and accuracy during requisition workflows. It's not an opt-in feature, so we don't. It's a default feature, and this is the business benefit for this feature. So the next feature is assign additional supplier contact email for requisition and purchase orders. With this new feature, when you are making requests to buy things, you can now add contacts from the supplier by entering their email addresses, even if those contacts are not already in the supplier's contact list. This gives you more control and flexibility in specifying who should be contacted for your order, and you can also do this when creating a request using a tool called responsive self-service procurement. It makes the process of managing supplier contact easier and more customizable. So it's an opt-in feature. As you can see on the screen, the screenshot of the page, you can add additional contact email. You can just put the supplier email addresses, and you can put multiple supplier email addresses by putting comma in between. So the next feature is configure purchase order implemented and rejected FYI notification using Oracle Analytics Publisher. Now, when it comes to letting people know about the completion or rejection of purchase order or change orders, you have more option for notification. You can set up notification within the application or get notified through emails. To make this notification more informative and similar in look to approval notification, you can use the Oracle Analytics Publisher template. This update also allows you to include extra details like supplier's name and document total in the title of this notification, so providing more context than before. Previously, you could only include such details in approval notification, but not in the FII notification. So by this feature now you can customize the FII notification, including more details in that. So in simple terms, it gives you more ways to get notified about what's happening with your purchase order and provides more information in those notifications. It's a default feature. This is the screen captured illustrate the feature. Moving forward, the next feature is rank blanket purchase agreement to prioritize source selection on requisition and purchase order. Now, with this new feature, you can set priorities for blanket purchase agreements to determine their ranking when selecting a source for requisitions and purchase order lines. So the priority order includes factors like requisitioning business units, agreements with automatic order generation, and those with specified priorities. You can assign a numerical priority between 1 and 9,999 to agreements, helping you efficiently manage multiple agreements and streamlining the sourcing processes. It's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for this. So the priority is captured in the order processing section of agreement control tab and integrate number between 1 to 999. An agreement without a priority are treated as having the lowest priority. You can also see the business benefit of it. Okay, so the next feature is apply ship to organization and ship to location specific pricing when available. Certainly, this feature allows business to configure their pricing strategy to prioritize specific factors when determining the unit price for requisition and purchase order lines. So the system follows a hierarchy. First, it can matching the shipping to organization and shipping to location. So the first priority is given to the price break that correspond to both the ship to organization and ship to location, ensuring the lowest unit price for specific destinations. Second is matching ship to organization and a blank ship to location. So if no matching location is found, the system looks for a price break associated with the ship to organization but with a blank location. This is the second priority and aims for the lowest unit price within the organization. So the third is blank ship to organization and blank to ship to location. So in this case, where neither the organization nor the location matches, the system considered price break with blank value for both organization and location. This serves as the third priority to obtain the lowest unit price available. So this hierarchy ensures that the pricing mechanism is optimized for cost effectiveness and taking into the account specific organizational and locational consideration for procurement. It's an opt-in feature. So this is how the screen will be shown, and you can see the price break and the price we have decided on the basis of organizational and locational basis. So moving forward, next feature is communicate purchasing document PDFs with a clearer file name to supplier. When you send documents like purchase order and agreements to your supplier, the file names used to have some extra details that your supplier might not find necessary. Now, the file names are simpler and clearer with this feature. So before, the file might have been named something like it includes the organization identifier number, but so it's just removing some internal details from the file name to make it more straightforward for your supplier. So from now they will see the document type and the document number and the change order number. It's in default feature. You will have to opt in for it. The next one is view change orders using a deep link. Now, when you want to see any changes made to your purchase order or agreements, you can use a special link that takes you directly to those changes. There are different links for viewing change order made by someone else or changes you requested. So new links which are added in this feature are view change view changes made to purchase order, view changes made to purchase order specially as a person who has requested the change, and view changes made to a purchase agreements. So you can put this link in report or other tools so that people or users can easily click and go directly to see the changes without going through multiple steps. And it's like a shortcut to check what's different in your purchase order and agreements. It's a default feature, so you will have to opt in for it. The next is use the supplier contact on the requisition line. If you are buying things from the same supplier, but you have different contacts at the supplier's place, before when you ordered these things, the system might randomly pick one of those contacts for the entire order. From now, after this update, if you have different contacts, the system will create separate order for each contact, so each contact will get their own orders. But if you prefer the old way where it randomly picks one contact from the whole order, you can choose to keep that by setting some configuration in the setup and maintenance. So it's basically giving you more control over how orders are created when you have different contacts with the same suppliers. So it was a bug and it was fixed in 24A. So the next is prevent supplier communication of change order that are pending signature. Previously, supplier were informed about change order even if they're still pending approval and not yet finalized. With this update, supplier will only receive communication about the change orders once all necessary approval have been obtained and the change order has been fully implemented. So this ensures that suppliers are notified only when the change is confirmed and ready to action. So improving the clarity and avoiding premature notifications. It was also a bug and this is fixed in 24A. The next feature is define external purchase price mapping for manufacturer names. So in simple terms, this update helps align manufacturer names from the external source with those defined as trading partner in the system. When importing external purchase price, the system maps the manufacturer name to ensure they match the definition in the trading partners list. This mapping is crucial when the source manufacturer name doesn't exactly match the names defined in the system. With this update, there is new manufacturer tab in the external purchase pricing mapping page that will allow you to define the manage these mapping easily. And you can download a template, use it in Microsoft Excel with Oracle Visual Builder add-in, and update or create mappings in bulk. So this makes the process more efficient and helps maintain the accurate manufacturer information in the system. It's a default feature, you'll have to opt in for it. As you can see in the picture, there is a manufacturer name. This is the column they have added. The next feature is create blanket purchase agreement by source contract number. With this new feature, like when creating blanket purchase agreement from external purchase prices, You can now choose to group them based on the source contract number. In addition to the existing criteria like requisitioning business unit group, supplier, supplier site, and currency. This means that each external purchase price can result in a separate blanket purchase agreement and making it easier to a manager and maintain these agreements. For example, let's say you have an external purchase price for supplier 001 and 002. So without enabling this feature, this external purchase price might create two blanket purchase agreements based on the existing criteria. However, by enabling this feature, each external purchase price will create its own blanket purchase agreement considering the source contract number as well. So if you are already using Oracle external purchase prices, existing blanket purchase agreement will continue to be grouped without considering the source contract number. And newly created agreements after enabling this feature will consider the source contract number for grouping. So to transition existing agreement to the new grouping, you can follow the specific steps, including marking line as excluded and running import processes and enabling the opt-in. So you can opt in for this feature if it applies to your businesses. So the next feature is group impacted organization during item replacement. If there's a situation like where a supplier problem affects many organizations, uh, to deal with this, a task is created to replace a disrupted items. Before, you had to decide whether to replace the item for all the organization together or for each organization separately. Now, with this feature, you can group together the organizations that are affected, but only if they share at least one alternative option to get the item. So you check with organizations are impacted and what alternative they have. If they have something in common, like another place to get the item or different item that could work, you can group those organizations together for the replacement. This way you can perform action like replacing and reinstating the item for the whole group at once. This grouping helps consolidate the purchase order for different places that need mass replacement. You can review and confirm the replacement option for the entire group. Before, if some organization had one way to address the supply problem and other had a different way, you had to replace item for each organization individually. This could be a lot of work, and especially if your business has many places. But now with this grouping option, you can efficiently replace item for a bunch of organization at the same time, and it will save a lot of efforts and time. It's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for it. So this screenshot shows how you can group the organizations and can confirm the replacement. So the next feature is replace item set for replenishment planning. When there is a problem with getting a certain items like a supply issue, you can now create a task to replace that item. When even if the item is set for the replenishment planning in your supply chain management. Before this update, you could only create the replacement task for item set in a certain planning method. But after this feature, if it's set for replenishment planning, you can still replace it. When you confirm the replacement by choosing another item, a temporary hold is put on the original item supply. So, if it's a temporary replacement, a future date is set for the original item to start getting supplies again. But if it's a permanent replacement, no more supplies are planned for the original items. You can set up the notification for the planners to let them know about the replacement and any changes in the planning. And for temporary replacement, when you confirm that the original item is back in action, planner get notified again. So this replacement system helps make sure you can still fulfill requests for items even when there is a supply issue. It also stops unnecessary requests for items that are temporarily unavailable and saving efforts in managing requisitions and POs. Okay, moving forward. So the next feature is enhanced duplicate supplier check on the taxpayer ID. Imagine you're managing information about a supplier for your businesses, and it's really important to have a accurate and a unique data to keep things running smoothly. Now, if someone accidentally or on purpose tries to add a supplier with the same taxpayer ID, which is a unique identification number, it can create a problem in transaction and it requires a manual effort to fix it. So to make sure this doesn't happen, there's a new and improved system. When you enter or change a taxpayer ID, the system now checks not just the exact format, but also consider different format that represent the same alphanumerical value. So as you can see on the screen, the example, there's a taxpayer ID number 123456789. So if you tries to put um, a special character between this number or something, still this taxpayer ID system will not accept it and will throw you an error. So this prevent the accidental intentional attempt to add a duplicate supplier with the same taxpayer ID and making sure your supplier data stays accurate and avoid unnecessary problems in your business operations. So this is the screenshot of it. If you add any taxpayer ID, you'll get the error. And also it mentioned the supplier name where this is getting duplicate from. It's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for this. Moving forward, the next feature is extending text generation supplier self-service registration. This update allows business to customize the supplier registration experience by tailoring to the specific requirement based on factors like geographical region and industries. Using business rules in Oracle Visual Builder Studio, you can easily modify the registration page now, making field required, optional, read-only, or hidden. This adjustment can be applied conditionally, like such as based on the supplier's country, region, or anything. By efficiently configuring the registration attribute, including the descriptive flex field, through the user-friendly interface of this business rules, business can now provide a more seamless and personalized registration process for the suppliers, ultimately reducing support cost and improving the registration success rate. This feature currently supports the company detail page with the plan for extending the support to additional page in the future. And configuration is done only on the Visual Builder Studio by duplicating the default rules and adjusting attribute properties based on the specific business needs and conditions. This is the business benefit of it, and it's a default feature. You don't have to opt in. It was a bug, and it has been fixed in this 24A that support 240 characters for address name in supplier registration. Previously, when you were registering a supplier, the name you could give to their address was limited to only 15 characters. But now with the latest update, both you and your supplier can use longer names for addresses up to 240 characters. This change applies to both internal and external supplier registration. It brings the address name limit in line with the maximum character limit allows for address and site name in the supplier profile. And it's default one. The next feature is track negotiation lifecycle activities. Imagine you are involved in the negotiation deals for your business, and this update allows you to keep a detailed track of all the steps taken during the negotiation processes, from creating the initial draft to actions like publishing, closing, extending, making amendments, starting a new round, and making an award. Every step is recorded. This information is presented in a clear timeline view, making it easy to follow the negotiation progress. So you can also view the action in a list format and even download the entire activity log in Excel. This feature ensures the transparency and comprehensive record of negotiation activity, helping everyone involved stay informed. It is an opt-in feature, so you need to opt in for it if you want. So the next feature is reopen awards decision after negotiation is completed. Now, this feature allows user to reopen and revise a negotiation that has already been awarded and completed. Even after creating a purchase document based on the previous award decision, category manager can now reconsider and change the awarded supplier. However, it's essential to cancel or delete all the associated POs from the prior award. When reopening, users can provide a reason for doing this, and there's an option to send an online message to all the supplier participants involved. After reopening, a new award decision must be submitted for approval. Configuration option for award approval attributes are available and allowing customization of approval rules for reopen negotiations. Moreover, the award approval notification can be modified through the BI Publisher template to include information about the re-award. So if there are requisitions linked to the original awarded lines, handling them depends on the deletion of purchase documents. So this feature provides category manager with the flexibility to adapt to real world business challenges. For example, if the initial award supplier declines to fulfill the purchase order, the category manager can modify their awards decision to select the next eligible supplier and recreate the POs. It's an opt-in feature. If you want it, you can opt in it. So the next feature is allow supplier to enter zero response price. In straightforward terms, like supplier now have the options to input a price of zero when participating in negotiation. This enables them to provide items or services for free, perhaps for products still under warranty. Supplier can use this feature even when responding through spreadsheet. And for buyers, this presents an opportunity to benefit from free offering, enhancing overall cost savings. So it's an opt-in feature. If you want, you can opt in for it. Mm, This is the business benefit of. So the next feature is audit negotiation changes. This feature enables the auditor to monitor and review real-time changes made by the negotiation participants in Oracle sourcing. The audit reports capture essential details such as who made the changes, what actions were taken, when they occurred, how the values were modified, and etc. The audit tracking can be configured for various elements within the negotiation, offering the transparency and supporting internal audit control and governance. So the attributes can be configured for audit tracking on the following negotiation entities like supplier negotiation, response currencies, collaboration team members, requirement sections, requirement line, and suppliers. It's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for it. This is the business benefit for this feature. Moving forward, next is record approval exceptional using the transaction console. In simple terms, administrators now have a powerful tool called the transaction administration console to efficiently manage the negotiation and award approval processes. This console allows them to easily identify, troubleshoot, and recover transactions that might have encountered issues during the approval processes. It provides a streamlined view of approval tasks and allow monitoring and offers search capabilities for quick problem resolutions. And it ensures smoother and more effective transaction management. It's a default feature, no, we don't have to opt in for it. So the next is default team members while sending online messages. It was a bug and it has been fixed in 24A now. So in negotiation, where scoring is done by a team, when you want to send a message, all team members are now automatically included in the recipient list. If you specifically select certain members in the table before sending the message, only those selected member will be included, and this change ensures efficient communication within the scoring team. So the next feature is discover new suppliers using the generative AI in sourcing. Now you can use advanced artificial intelligence to find potential suppliers, even those though not currently registered. This helps you to discover the new options for goods and services. If you find a suitable recommendation, you can invite the supplier to join your negotiation. It's a smart way to expand your supplier option and enhance the competition in your business negotiation. It's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for it. So the next feature is support multiple languages on questionnaires. In dealing with suppliers who speak different languages, you can now ensure the clarity by presenting qualification questionnaire in their preferred languages. By storing translation for questions and responses, the system display the appropriate text based on the supplier's language preferences. This feature now supports both external suppliers and internal responder who use different languages. It's streamlining the communication and data aggregation for better analysis. And it's an opt-in feature. You need to opt in for it if you want to use different languages. languages for your qualification questionnaires. So the next feature is change question text without requiring new revision. With this update, when you need to make changes to the text or acceptable responses of a qualification question, you now have the flexibility to choose whether or not to create a new version or a revision of the question. This decision-making process is especially useful when dealing with minor edits that wouldn't significantly impact the nature of response. So previously, any modification to the question automatically triggered the creation of the new revision, and that leading to potential requalification cycle even for a minor adjustments. Now, when accessing active questions, you are directed to view question page instead of added question. And in the view question page and manage question section, the edit action has been split into two: edit the current revision and create new revision. So this enhancement allows you to maintain better control over question revision and ensuring the updates are carried out judicially based on the significance of the changes. It not only streamlines the qualification management process, but also helps in preventing the continuity of validity of existing response when minor edits are made to the qualification questions. It's an opt-in feature. If you want it, you can opt in for it. So the next is performance improvement to supply qualification work area landing pages. It's a bug and it's now fixed in 24A. So to improve the performance of the landing page and ensure a smoother user experience, two specific infolets names are like update available and setup requiring attention are now initially hidden for all the users. Users have the option to view these infolets by clicking on the My Infolet icon and enabling them. This approach you optimize the default display for better performance and while giving user the flexibility to access the additional information whenever needed. So the next feature is manage signed contract documents. Manage signed contract efficiently. Now you can easily organize and locate your signed contract documents separately on the document tab. Electronic signed contracts are saved in dedicated category called signed contract documents, providing the clear visibility. So the file name is prominently displayed at the top of the document tab, ensuring the quick identification. Additionally, when a new version is generated, the latest signed contract seamlessly join the primary contract document. And while the previous signed version is while the previous signed version is like preserved and supporting document in the contract image category, it also streamlined the approach, enhanced the management of signed contract within the application. So it's an opt-in feature. Um, you can opt in for it. So next feature is support date and number data types in parted description flex field. The flexibility in contract data entry. Now the contract party descriptive flex field provides added support for numbers and date data types. This means when the setting up the segments, You can use this data type for more accurate and structured information. The system validates entries to prevent the error, like using special characters or incorrect formats, and ensuring the integrity of your contractual data. It's an default feature. You don't have to opt in for it. So the next feature is manage contract validation. Customize the contract validation. Now, when you submit a contract for approval, the system check for error and warning based on the configurable rules. You have the flexibility to customize these validation rules, enabling or disabling them as per your need. Additionally, you can choose whether certain warnings should be treated as error, ensuring tighter control over the approval processes. This feature empowers user with the manage control type privilege to trail the contract validation to their specific needs. It's a default feature. You don't have to opt in for it. So the last feature is sign contract with Adobe Acrobat Sign. Streamlining the electronic signature with this Adobe Acrobat Sign integration, managing electronic signature for contract document becomes seamless. Like now, user can designate the signers on the parties page, get signing orders, and provide the valid email addresses. So the contract status transitions from pending signature to sent for signature when a user with appropriate privileges initiate the signature processes. The sender, equipped with the ability to add more tags, additional signers, and private messages, can effectively navigate the signature workflow. So the managing electronic signature process, signer will receiving an email from Acrobat Sign can either sign or decline the sign. If declined, the contract status revert to the pending signature and allowing the sender to make necessary correction before resending it. The sender retains the flexibility to modify the agreement, cancel it, or add additional files with all the signers receiving the relevant notification. Efficiency and security for this is that integration streamline the entire signature process from agreement creation to signature tracking and enhancing the efficiency. So auto send for signature can be leveraged to automatically send contract for signature and optimizing the signature workflow. So the secure and user-friendly Adobe Acrobat Sign ensures a smooth contract signature experience. It's in default feature. You will have to opt in for it. Thank you everyone for listening me patiently.
Thank you, Pooja, for
If you
wonderful
have any,
insights. Let's quickly move towards Q&A part now. Hi, Shubham. Could you please check if you have any questions you want to take up?
Uh, no, we don't have any questions related to these features.
Okay, thank you, Shubham.
Yeah.
One important message we would like to convey to all that if you would like to enable Redwood pages for any of the modules, or if you need any further assistance on Redwood pages, you can certainly write to your Mastic support manager and they will be able to arrange the required support for you. You will receive an email by next week wherein presentation and session recording would be available to you at a single click. So please do look out for the email. So these are some upcoming sessions which you can see on the screen. Please register or ask your colleague to register and be part of the webinars. Before you leave us, we would like to have a quick feedback on today's session. Launching the poll now. Okay, closing the poll. Thank you once again for your valuable time. Bye, everyone.